Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer and another unboxing video. Today we're taking a look at 14 Days in June, a Waterloo campaign by Strategemata. I really don't know how to pronounce that. Let me know if I'm saying that right or wrong. I'm not really sure. But this is a game by Stephen Pohl. Okay. Now, this game looks truly interesting, and I will tell you what, I'm a sucker for good artwork, and I do like the artwork on that right there. All right, now let's flip this over. Do like the look of this map here as well. Just from what I've seen on the back, it looks phenomenal to me. But this is a war game for 2 players, ages 12 and up. I don't see a time limit on it, so I'm not really sure about that. Okay, but we got a little box contents here. It's a polling game. I'll tell you what, you want to read the back of the box? There you go. Give me a little pause, and you got it. Now, this game came with no shrink wrap on it. Okay, they just sent it just like this. So let's take a look on the inside and see what we can see. Okay, now, inside here, we're going to get some nice wooden components. Or at least these dice look wooden. Oh, look at that. And they're super light, but those dice, wooden dice. You know, I like wooden dice. I don't know if it's just me, but they're light, they bounce. I like wooden dice. I don't know if they're balanced good, or anything else, but I like them. Okay. Now we have these little guys. I have no idea what these little things are for. They look like they could actually hold some counters in them. I don't know. We're going to see if we can find out. Okay. But there you go. We'll figure out what those are later. Now we do have 4 of these little stand things. I don't know what these are either. So it looks like these were laser cut. Okay. But what they're for, I don't know. We'll see if we can figure that one out as well. All right. Let's take a journey, folks. Let's take a journey. You know what? These dice, I don't like dice bouncing around. They came in this bag. I didn't put them back in the bag. You know what? Let's put them back in that bag. We don't want to lose them. Okay, so we're going to get a little bag of counters right here. And let's see what we have. Okay, now these counters, man, they are packed in here. And if this is all the counters in the game, that means there's not a lot. But we're going to check it out. Now, they're pretty thin, all right? But they look, I mean, they look fine. They're nice and straight, nice and solid. So I have no problems with it. And maybe, just maybe, they go on those little wooden things. That's kind of my theory. But there you go. We're going to get a lot of little counters in there. I see like a time counter in here. Looks like we got, okay, how many, I'm guessing that you're going to put that with another token on how many troops you're going to have. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing that's what it is. And you know what? These all aren't going to go back in this little bag very easily. So, I'll tell you what. I'm just going to put them here off to the side. And I'm going to shove all those in a much... Actually, you know what? I'm doing it right now. I got one right here off to the side. Let's just shove these things in a larger bag. Okay? You guys don't mind if I take a couple seconds to do that, do you? We don't want to lose any counters. And this actually makes it a little flatter too. So, I like it. Okay, now, what do we got? This is going to be games by... Wow, look at that. I have never heard of these guys, and they have so many games. Oh, I got to get these games played. I got to see how these are. I know they look good. They absolutely look good. You know what? There's a little ad by them. Has nothing to do with this game, but you know what? They put these in the box. I like to show them. I repeat myself all the time when I say that, but I do. I just like to show them. All right, now we're going to have a map. I'm going to have to move some stuff for this. Oh, this is huge. Okay. We're going to get to the map last. Now, let's look and see what this rulebook is. This rulebook, which is only 12 pages. All right. And it looks like, what do we got here? All right. Okay. Oh, there you go. Commander's details and labels here. Well, there, put it down there. Okay, yeah. So those big commanders are going to go in those little blocks. We're going to put labels on them, which means I get a sticker. I get to do stickers. That's fine. I can do stickers. But, okay. You know what? I even give you a chance to really look at that page. There you go. And let's see what we're going to have over here. All right, now, their rule books seem to be really text heavy. This one doesn't seem like as small a print as the last one of theirs that I looked at. So I've seen one other game of theirs, and that's it. Okay, and that's only because we got that one other one at the same time as this one. But it looks good, and this one looks good. Okay, so not a lot of diagrams. As long as the text... Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this much, but as long as the text makes sense and I can understand by the text, then I don't need diagrams. Diagrams are nice if the text is hard to understand. You know what I mean. you know, rule books. That's one of those things. Your commander movement rule books are one of those things that just, you know what? Everybody has different opinions on rule books. They really, really do. Okay, so looks like we're gonna get. Oh yeah, look at that, man. I'm gonna show you this because I think that is cool. I think that is cool looking artwork. And what's on the back of that? Right there, terrain effects chart. Perfect. Oh, see, I love that art. I think that is phenomenal. Okay, terrain effects chart. There you go. I like those. Now we're gonna have. All right, so we have these. Okay, so here we go. These are two different ones. We have our French initial order sheet, and we're gonna have our Allied initial order sheet. I'm guessing we're going to. There's our Allied and our French again. Okay, so I'm guessing we're gonna have to photocopy these. Well, I can do that too. And there we go. We knew it was coming. Stickers, baby. I get to do stickers. We all know I love stickers. Now, what do we have here? This is, an extended example of play. So here we go. That's nice. Okay, so this will be a good read. It's going to kind of give us, tells you where the rules are. I like, that's kind of nice. They highlight that. So that way as you're playing or reading through this, you can kind of, oh, hey, this is the rule part that they're going for. All right, so show you this. Yes, we got our movements, we got our dice rolls. Okay, try to keep all this in the screen. All right. So I do like this. Okay, these big examples, these are good, especially if they really go into detail and they're clear. All right, I do like that. Okay, and there you go. Final position. Take a look at that. Yeah. All right, get a good example of what everything is. Now we're going to take a look at some tokens. Okay, now these are wanting to just fall out. You are not going to have a problem punching these at all. I guarantee it. All right, there's the front side. There's the back side. There's nothing else underneath them, so I'm just going to lay those back down in here. All right, now these look like, okay, if you're going to put those underneath your other token counters, I'm guessing to say how many units you have in your area. That's usually what I've seen those for. All right, your initial order. Okay, and there's your regular order, I guess, and these go up to 8 on the back side. So those are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. They're different colors, so I'm guessing the different color are going to be for the different units. All right, and there you go. But let's get this off to the side. I still never saw what these are for. I don't know what those are for. Okay, it's going to be in that rule book somewhere. You guys scour the rule book for me, find what those are for, and you can post it down in the comments. I greatly appreciate that. But this map, oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for a map quite this large. Now, it's a paper map, which is okay because I have plexiglass and I just throw plexiglass over the top of it, but I don't think I have this much plexiglass. I might. All right, we're going to kind of slide this map around because I can't get all this in. So we got the Allied Army battlefield. Now on the back side up here, we're going to have the French Army. So this, I'm guessing all this on this back side up here is going to be the same as what's going to be down here, but just for the French. Okay, so looks like we have our different map sections. I do love the look of this map. I will say that. Okay, get this up here. All right, so we have our historical initial setup for the Allied Army. I like when they put the setup stuff actually on the map itself. All right, for say like Brussels, Wellington, you can barely see what I'm doing right there. All right, but then we got our order marker table for things here. The attrition table. Okay, so we got to deal with attrition, see how that works in this game. I'm not really sure. All right, and we got our turn track, discretionary dice roll track, Allied command bonus track down over to here. Okay, it looks like we're going to have maybe a random movement chart. Okay, so if things are going to go randomly, we got to figure out where they're going to be there. But there you go. Take a look at that. I'm just going to shuffle this around, let you look at the map on this other side a little bit. Okay, whoo! This looks good. This looks good. There's a lot of forest in there, boy. You want to get to this little town. Oh, let me see. You want to get to these little towns here, boy. You are trudging through some forests. But yeah, okay. This looks good. All right, and I tell you what, man, if you play war games and you don't have plexiglass and you get paper maps, I highly recommend investing in some plexiglass. Okay, I really do. All right, let's see. Whoop, I flipped that out. Just need to make sure that I have this. You know, I'm one of those guys where the top has to be in the same direction as the bottom of the box. Okay, so we're going to stick this here in the bottom. Actually, I think that was on the top. We're going to put that on the top. Let's get this example of play in there. I'm sorry I bumped that. Okay, we're going to get those sheets in there. I'm going to go look for that online. I'm going to go photocopy, or I'm going to go download and print those one way or another. Stickers, I'm going to deal with the stickers later. You don't need to watch me do that. Let's get that rule book in there. Let's go ahead and get this in here. All right. Now, like I said, we had all those, these, and we know what those are for now, because those are going to be used with those big tokens. Okay. But we also have those. What are those used for? Someone please tell me what those are used for. I didn't see it. Okay, so I'm not really sure. All right, and actually I'm going to do this and this because I don't want that map. I want that map sitting as flat as possible. So let's put those right there. And oop, our errata token. We got to go find our errata token. 86 it and get that one in its place. And there you go. Now I'm going to go through, I'm going to punch those, put them in their own little baggies. There's plenty of room in here, but this is, look at that. That is a really thin box, but there's definitely room in here to put some small baggies with those counters. But there you go. That is 14 days in June. That is the Waterloo campaign. This game looks great. Let me, you know, I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this kind of artwork. Do you guys like this? Do you not like this? I love this artwork. I mean, to me, this is phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Leave into your comments down below. Let me know if you've played many of their games before. Are there other games they have that you like better than this, or you think are fantastic that maybe if we can get our hands on, we should take a look at? Please let me know. Like I said, I've never played anything by these guys, but their stuff looks great, so I'm excited to play it. All right, leave those comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer. You know, a lot of people say that New York has the best New Year's Day celebrations, but they drop the ball every year. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at 1812, Napoleon's Fateful March from VUCA Simulations. In 1812, Napoleon's Faithful March from VUCA Simulations, 1 to 2 players take on the roles of either the French under Napoleon or the Russians under the Tsar as they battle in that fateful year of 1812. Now, this is essentially a CDG, card-driven war game, but there's a lot of other ideas going on here. There's some great how-to-play videos out there and what have you. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you the basics of how you play and my thoughts. Now, in the game, you have different scenarios that you can choose from. You can do kind of the full campaign, or you can kind of choose different parts of the campaign. So your deck essentially has kind of just regular cards, you have summer cards, and you have winter cards. So depending on kind of what your campaign or what your scenario is going to cover, you're going to add or remove those types of cards from your deck. They have basic units like infantry and cavalry, and some of the French units are also kind of allied, like you may have like Austrian or other nations that served with the Grand Armée in 1812, and you'll have those there. And essentially, kind of you have your full strength, you flip it over to kind of your staggered side, and you're also going to have standees or other counters that represent the leaders of the various armies here in the Napoleonic Wars. Now, you're going to have, of course, the armies, various units with leaders on the board, but you're also going to have a number of shields that represent those leaders. So what you're going to do is just put the leader on the board, and you can have the units that constituted that army, or that unit rather, but behind the shields. So your enemy is not quite sure how many units you may have behind one of your shields, and when they look on the board, they're not going to know exactly how many armies are with that leader. Now, the game board itself is a map of Russia and kind of the eastern part of Germany, and you've got kind of point to point movement, right? Locations are connected to other locations. You've also got certain places that can be supply depots on the board as well. Now, on the board, you're going to have various other terrain effects. You will have, of course, fortifications that are there. You will have rivers and other things like that that will be factors in the game. Now, generally speaking, at the beginning of every round, you're going to have a reinforcements phase. You're going to go ahead, bring in some reinforcements. But then what you're going to do is you can draw a card from your deck into your hand. So you've got, you kind of start with a hand size there, which varies. And you're going to go ahead and play cards next to kind of determine how many actions you're going to get. Now, you're going to get some base actions depending on base orders, depending on certain factors, but you can play the card for the number, which then is added to that so you can get more orders that you can play during your turn. Now, next you're going to be placing your orders. Now, your orders are little blocks that you're going to place facing you so your enemy, your opponent, doesn't know what is on each of those blocks and what each of them are going to do. In addition to the regular blocks, you also have some dummy blocks so that you can put those up to kind of bluff your opponent. Now, the orders you place include forced march. Now, forced march essentially allows a unit to move 2 spaces instead of 1, but critically, it has reduced fight. It's not going to be as powerful when it is in a fight. Next, you have cavalry patrols. These allow a player to look at enemy orders or SPs, strength points, the units that an enemy may have on the board. Now, you can do a march order. A march order allows, like, your infantry just to move the regular 1 space, and they can fight at full strength. Your cavalry can move 2 spaces. You can play an evade order. Now, evade essentially allows a force to get out of the way, anticipating an enemy attack that they don't want to engage. You can place a defend order. This will reduce your losses if you're attacked during combat. You can rally. Essentially, this allows you to take a number of exhausted SPs you've got, flip them over so that they are at full strength. The Russians can do a Cossack raid. Essentially, they can prevent the enemy from foraging into space, and they can also eliminate one exhausted SP. You can place a depot. Essentially, by placing a depot, you can extend your supply because you've got to keep your army in supply. And by creating depots, these are cubes you're going to put on the board, you essentially have a greater tie to your logistical network. Finally, you've got forage. Forage allows you to reduce the losses that you would take through attrition. So what you're doing is you are actually resolving each of these orders in sequence, both of you at the same time. So who's got a forced march? We both got forced marches. We both execute those. There will be some way to work out the timing if it presents a conflict. But then, who's doing this action, who's got this action, and that's how you do it, all the way down to your dummies, right? And you eliminate your dummies. Now, after the defend block is presented, you go ahead and you resolve battle. Now, how battle works is essentially you can play cards with events on them that may help you in that battle. And then you go ahead and you total up all of your SPs, all of your strength points. Then you're going to roll a battle die for the attacker and defender and add that to it. Then you're going to consult a chart, which is going to tell you exactly, where you land and what's going to happen to the units, who's retreating, who's staying, how many points of SPs are lost. Now, there's a bit more to it, but that's basically what's going on. Of course, some units will have to retreat. There's a step for kind of figuring out exactly how they will retreat there as well. Now, after the battle, each player that played a card and has a leader present, they can go ahead and they can draw a new card. Now, after the battle phase, you're going to go ahead and do attrition. You're going to look at each of your armies and how far they are from a supply depot. You're going to consult the weather, see what the weather's like. You consult a chart. It says exactly how much devastation is there. You're going to place devastation markers on the board, 1, 2, or 3. That's exactly how much that place has already been used for forage and what have you, and you're going to take losses. Now, if you had a forage marker there, you're going to be able to mitigate some of your loss from the attrition. Now, you will also have to check your line of communication, essentially your depot markers. Are they close enough to each other? Are there no enemy SPs blocking kind of their own lines of communication? That could be an important thing because you may lose some of the supply depots. So next, you're going to go ahead, you're going to see if victory conditions have been met, or if you're on the last turn of that scenario. If not, you're going to advance the time marker and begin the cycle again. Whoever is able to meet the specific objectives of their scenario wins. 1812. Napoleon's Faithful March.
We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review.
Okay, so 1812 Napoleon's Faithful March. There is a lot more going in this game. That was just a very basic overview of this game. This is not a terribly complex game. Generally, I didn't find it to be, an incredibly rules heavy game. It's a very, I think, approachable war game in that regard. Um, it's pretty easy to learn the basics and to get going. I think the rule book and the examples and stuff and the playbook, they're generally good. So no complaints on that front whatsoever. Map is beautiful. I think the component quality here is beautiful. Again, you can use the standees or the little markers for your units. Overall, I think it is just a beautiful production. Everything about this player screens, everything I think just looks great. I love the wooden blocks that you're using for your orders. I think that's so cool. And that really too leads to my next point in gameplay. I love this system of we're trying to determine how many orders we get every turn with our cards and other factors. And then we take turns placing our blocks. And so you're trying to anticipate what the other person's going to do. Now, the Russians, of course, right off the bat, they're not as strong as the French. So they're just like historically, they're going to trade space for time. And it's a very interesting, they're very interesting choices in how they're able to do that. So that is a fantastic part of the game. I really, really enjoy the blocks and what have you here. Now, battles too are pretty fun. I liked the factors and the charts here for the battles. I thought they were well executed, well done. We kind of had fun with figuring out exactly what our strengths are going to be and how our die rolls factored into that. I love games that have uh, that are heavily based on the strength units and terrain and these other factors, fortifications and all these other factors, but then you still get a die roll to offer some chance. Von Clausewitz tells us war is the realm of chance. So I really like that aspect of the game as well. I thought that was fun. I thought combat generally was fun and engaging. Now you've got the attrition phase. Now with the attrition phase, I like the idea of just like historically, the land, you're using up the land. These armies like locusts are just taking resources from the land, right? Or other factors may be doing that. And I like that. And I like the way it's presented here. I think mechanically it's good. However, at the same time, at the end of every round, you got to go through and all your armies, all your leaders, you got to go through and you got to do kind of this process for all of them. And I kind of felt like the game, kind of slowed down at that point, and you kind of got away from what was really fun about the game. Now, I like the idea. I like that system in theory, but in practice, it felt like it kind of slowed down the game for me. So I was not wild about how that played. I remember reading the rules, thinking that sounds awesome, and then actually in playing it, it was not as much fun as I thought it would be. And that kind of leads me to my biggest criticism of the game, and that is it's too long. Now, if you're playing the grand scenario, you're going to be out at this. I could see you doing this 6 to 8 hours. And you play some of these smaller scenarios, and you're going to be at it a few hours, right? And I think a lot of that time is that attrition phase, is trying to figure out your attrition for all your units. So that kind of slowed things down for me. Now, if you're somebody who you want to play a good Napoleonic two-player war game it's accessible, it's approachable, but you don't mind the length, this game is excellent. This game is phenomenal. Myself, I like this game a lot, and I'll probably hang on to it in the short term. I don't know that I will keep coming back to it because it's a bit of a slog at times, right? And I don't know if the fun I get from it overcomes that. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna see. I've just played the one game, but that was my experience. So I want to play it again in the future, and maybe down the road see what I think. But my feeling is 1812 Napoleon's Faithful March is a good game that could have been tighter. I think a lot of people, as it is, won't have a problem with it. They will eat it up. They will really enjoy it. For myself, like I say, I would have appreciated it more if it had been just a little quicker of a game and you didn't have that kind of drop off in, frankly, fun during the attrition rounds. With all of that said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give Napoleon 1812 A Faithful March a 6.5 on the Cody scale. Like I say, it's a good game, but I've got some issues with it. Well, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, X. And please, as I say, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe this video on YouTube. We'd ask you to give it a thumb on Board Game Geek as well. And if you really do enjoy the content we bring you here, I would ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history, books on history, fun things like that. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to that channel as well. Also, too, if you do like this channel, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. My girlfriend Kate broke up with me when she found out I was also seeing Edith. I guess it's true. You can't have your Kate and Edith too.